Okay, so beginners, intermediate, starting nice and easy. It's quite hot where I am, so it's going to be a nice slow class actually. And again, like I said, don't do the antenatal variations that don't apply to you, but just take everything really relaxed, everything really slow as much as you need. We are going to be using the ball today. We're not going to be using the bands or any other equipment, so keep it nice and easy. All right, so let's bring our feet all the way together, arms rested down by our sides. Fantastic, guys. Turn your toes out, little Charlie Chaplin style, and then turn your heels out into that alignment. Just rock the weight forward and rock the weight backwards. So just really slowly start off with just kind of getting our brain and our feet engaged. So rock the weight on the heels, lift those toes up, give them a little spread, stretch those toes out, and then press the toes into the floor before you just gently rock the weight forward again. Do 2 more of those, gently rocking it backwards and gently rocking it forwards. All right, now bring those feet back, right slap bang in the middle of your mat. So what we're going to try to achieve now, guys, is an equal weight distribution through both of your heels. So have a little think, close your eyes if it makes it easier. Left heel, right heel. It should be 50-50. And then think of the balls of your feet. So again, 50-50, left foot, right foot. And then what we're going to try to do is equal that distribution. So you've got 25% at the heels and 25% on each of those balls of the feet. So you're really very, very, very centered. The center of your body is slap bang weighted through the middle of those feet. Now, when you've got that nice, equal, even weight distribution, just float the inner arches of your feet up ever so slightly. So just lifting those inner arches up just a little bit. Good. Tense those thigh muscles and then relax them. And then make sure the knee feels like it's really relaxed off. So just do one more time. Tense the thighs, keep tense, keep tense. Push the knees back, 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 back. And then just relax those quad muscles off the front of those thighs. Just let those knees really, really soften. Good. Bring your hands up onto your hips if they aren't already. And we'll start with a little bit of a tilting. Good, I'll go side on to show you. We're going to tip the pelvis forward. So arching that lower back just a little bit. Just stay there for a minute. Again, just kind of feel where that is. Compression of the lower back. It might not be comfortable for everybody. And then we gently rock the weight through neutral into a backwards tilt. So we're tucking the tailbone under. Try to keep your knees like straight, don't bend the knees to get a bit further. And let's go forward again. Good, and backwards again. Good. So just do a couple of forward and backwards rocks. Again, we're just trying to get initially the body and the brain engaged, whether it's been a long day, we've just woken up. Just let's get everything nice and switched on. Okay. So now keep on tipping forward and backwards. We're still warming up as well. Now come back in between those 2 points. So find like a halfway point between a forward and a backwards tilt. Good. Pop your fingertips onto your hip bone. Slide the fingers in an inch and slide the fingers down an inch. And then really relax your tummy. It should be soft underneath those fingers. And I want you to imagine hip bone to hip bone, just drawing those muscles across. Feel that tension underneath your fingers. That's your center. So that's the area we're going to really be working on. Keep that center engaged around that neutral pelvis. And just think of the sit bones, those bony bits at the base of your bum cheeks. Just squeeze them together up 30%. Good. Now keep everything there. Equal weight distribution between your feet. Relax knees. Pelvis is neutral. Center's engaged with a little bum cheek squeeze. And just do some shoulder rolls. So we're trying to think about the movement at our upper body whilst keeping the movement and the stability through the lower body. Let's go for some full arm circles. So float those hands up and then just circle down and around. So whilst you're doing this, you're just gentle circling. Think about the weight distribution in your feet. So again, close your eyes if you're not sure. When you're doing an arm circle, we shouldn't be kind of swaying forward and backwards on those feet. So really try to use the center. Maybe slow down the move if you need to. Again, just to not move that stable lower body. Let's take those hands down, circle up, and keep the hands up at shoulder height. Fantastic. Just do a shoulder blade reach. So one arm, you're going to reach the arm forward. Taking that shoulder blade away from that spine and then gently drawing it back and down, bringing the shoulder blade towards the spine. Same thing on the other side. So you're reaching that arm forward, stretching from that shoulder blade, and then gently guiding it back and down. Okay, let's keep on going, alternating sides. Reach one arm forward, and then gently come back. Good. Reaching the arm forward, and gently coming back. Good. Keep on going. What I like to try to do, still keeping that center engaged at the front, is breathe in to reach forward and breathe out to pull that shoulder back and down. Breathe in to reach forward, breathe out to pull it back and down. And again, just alternating sides, really gently, forward and backwards. Good. Now both arms at the same time. Breathe in, shoulders spread apart, breathing back into that shoulder blade position. We're still not moving our spine. Beautiful center, even weight distribution through those feet. Again, eyes closed if you need to. And then next time you reach forward, drop the chin to the chest and round the upper back. Enjoy that stretch, kind of ears touching those upper arms. And then just gently lift the head and drop those shoulders back into place again. Breathe in, round the upper back, drop the head, reach forward, breathe out to lift and start again. 2 more. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, try to keep those feet evenly weight distributed. Fantastic. Now take the hands up into that capital Y position. Now when we get to the top, this is what we're going to get you to do. When you get to the top, you're going to really try and think about tucking the ribs down, and then relax the ribs as you lower the hands. So hands come up, rib tucks down. Breathe in, let those ribs just rest. Let's go. Breathe out, tuck. Breathe in, lift the ribs. Keep going. So we're really starting to work those abdominal muscles. You're almost doing mini crunches, mini sit-ups. You're getting the abs working by just tucking that, gliding your rib cage down towards your pubic bone. And again, using the breath to help you get there. A really big warm up of those shoulders already, guys. Last one is rest those arms down by the side. Let's go all the way down. Let's get the whole spine warm. So a roll down to begin with. Don't go down too far. Take your time. Chin to chest. Roll the shoulders forward. Now you're going to try to curl the back all the way down. Just stop when you need to. Put your hands on your shins if you need to. Put your hands on your quads if you need to. Breathe in at the bottom and breathe out to gently curl yourself up. Pull the shoulders back second to last. Lift the head up last. Breathe in at the top. Breathe out the way down. Now guys, especially antenatal population, if you need to, just stop halfway. If you want to bend the knees a little bit, just give some support, that's fine. But breathe in when you get to the bottom of the movement, and then breathe out to see yourself curling back up to standing. 2 more. Breathe in at the top. Breathe out to roll down. You're halfway. Hands on knees if you need to, or all the way to the floor if you can. Breathe in at the bottom. Hold it still. Breathe out to roll up. Again, shoulders down, then head. Last one. All the way to the floor. If you can, just find a comfortable position. Stretching the back. Rolling up to finish. Interlacing those fingers in front of you. Turn the palms down. Drop the chin to the chest. Roll the shoulders forward as you reach forward, just like you did a second ago, but this time, look at the hands. Keep on looking at hands as they go all the way overhead, and then just circle the arms, bringing that head back to neutral. Good, fantastic. Interlace the fingers, palms down, head down. Roll the shoulders forward, reach forward. Look at the hands, continue to look at the hands. Breathe in now when the hands are at the top. And then breathe out to gently circle. Now bring the hands onto the hips, drop those shoulders in towards your back pocket. Turn your toes out, one with those toes, and then turn out with the heels. We're going to just do a little easy knee bend and stand up. That's it, nice and simple. Breathing out on the way down, breathing in and out. Now we want to let the chest lower so you can keep the back neutral. Because on this one, if you try to plonk yourself down with a straight back, you won't get very far. Or you'll tip that pelvis. We want to keep the pelvis neutral. So just like where we started. So let the head and chest kind of drop if you need to. Bending through the knees, bending through the hips, and then lift. Couple more. Now, on the way down, lift the pelvic floor. So you're kind of thinking like, I need a wing, I need a pop. Squeeze those back passage muscles if you need to. 2 more. Breathing out on the way down, breathing in on the way up. Keep that pelvic floor connection. Last one. Keep that pelvic floor connection and just hold it there. Okay, come back into the middle where the feet are directly underneath your hips. Squat again, but this time float the hands up to shoulder height and lift. Okay, so slightly different angles for the knees and the hips, slightly different warm-up. Okay, if you want to take it a little bit further, just if, stay at the bottom, lift the heels off the floor, stand yourself up, keeping those heels lifted, and then lower the heels and hands at the end. So 4 movements instead of 2. So squat down, lift the heels, stand up, lower the heels, lower the hands. Good. So again, let's go for a few more, guys. Whatever level you're doing, that's fine. Let's think about the center. So where at the very beginning of today did we focus on? Hip bones, inch in, inch out. Let's keep that area engaged. Imagine you're pulling your belly button towards your spine without moving that spine. Now, if you're doing the balance version, when you get to the top, just stay there for a second, right? Make sure you're in control before you just flop to the floor. So really want to make sure that you are in control of every level, every stage of this movement. Again, stay into a squat if you need to. Let's do 2 more at whatever level you're doing. Natural breathing, guys. Don't worry about too much about forced breath. And last one, and then just rest there. Let's take those hips a little wider. So you're going to slide onto your mat. You can take a step forward and a step backwards. So quite a wide stride. And it might not feel this way, but actually a slightly wider stride actually is better for your knees. It takes pressure off the knees. So hands on hips. Normally when we're here, we sink forward, we're in a forwards tilt. You're not going to do that. We're going to bring that pelvis back to neutral. So your back knee might need to bend a little bit, but that's fine. Keep that lovely neutral line, that straight pelvis. Relax the shoulders, engage that center again, and then lower the back knee towards the floor, gently lifting up in between. Keep your back heel off the floor. Don't put that back heel down. Let's go for a breath out on the way down and a breath in for the way up, and just keep on going. Now, guys, if you can, just gently tap your knee to the mat before you come up again. You're not putting weight through that knee, but you're just touching. You're patting your ant on its head. Just that little tap and lift. Breathing out and breathing in. Now, on that last one, now we're going to push that back heel to the floor. You can turn the heel outwards slightly. That should give you a better calf stretch. And then if you can, with that back heel on the floor, do a little backwards tilt of your pelvis. So you won't move very far, but you should feel a better stretch at the front of your hip. And lift the back heel, step it in, and then step back. Fantastic. And let's go to the other side. Really good, guys. So step forward and step backwards. It's easier to separate yourself that way. Lift the back heel, hands on hips. Rather than being lazy in a forwards tilt, bring the pelvis back to a nice straight line neutral. Softening that back knee if you need to. Now let's lift that chest. So I really want you quite snobby, yeah, and a very posh plunger. So when you drop that knee and breathe out, you're keeping the collarbones really pulled back. Breathing out on the way down, breathing in on the way up. And again, if that breath pattern doesn't work for you, it's too slow or it's too quick, as long as you're doing a natural breath kind of pattern, don't really mind what it is at this point. Draw that belly button back towards the spine. Engage the center. And again, lastly, let's lift that pelvic floor. So your I need a wee muscles. Let's draw those I need a wee muscles up. And let's do one more. As far down as you're comfortable, then push that back heel down. Turn that back heel outwards slightly. It should increase that calf stretch. And then a backwards tilt of your pelvis, if you can. If you can't, maybe just squeeze the bum cheeks, that often will pull your pelvis relatively into that position, just to feel a bit more of a better stretch on that front hip. Last breath in and breath out, lift the back heel, step and step. Fantastic, guys. Okay, let's just get the wrists and the ankles working. So rotate the wrist as you just roll one ankle around and then reverse that circle. And let's go to the other foot. So you're just literally loosening up those ankles, which obviously just worked quite hard. Reverse the circle. Shouldn't be too off balance. And then rest yourselves down. Fantastic, guys. Okay, let's get into the crux of your exercises. So we're going to go to a roll down, go to the floor, take a drink, and then we'll move on. So go to the end, facing the length of your mat. Pull those shoulders back and down. Breath in, engaging that center, and then dropping the chin, shoulders, and then rolling through one vertebrae at a time. Bend both knees to the floor, and then grab a quick drink. Fantastic, guys. So warm-up's done. And realistically, we're in a position where every single bit of our body is warm, so we should be okay on the next exercise. So we're going to go to 4-point hill. Okay, new position, right, wrists directly under shoulders, knees, please, directly under hips, be very square, like a table. Lower part of your rib cage, I want that lifted. So you're lifting the lower part of the rib cage away from the floor, and then lift your belly button up too. So you should feel really strong through the front of your torso. Lower those shoulders away from your ears, so gliding your shoulder blades towards your bottom. And then lengthen the back of the neck, just bringing that chin in towards the neck ever so slightly. So we're creating, imagine someone's pulling the crown of your head towards that wall in front of you. Now tuck your toes under. You're going to go for a leg pull in prone, prep level 1. Your aim is to float your knees just off the mat without moving any of that beautiful position you just put yourself into, and then lower the knees down. Same drill. So chest up, lower ribs up, belly button up, float the knees, lower the knees, nothing changes. With a breath if you can, breathe out to lift, breathe in to hold, breathe out to lower, and start again. Now, if it's too much on your wrists, you can do a fist position and work there. Or you can pop your elbow where your hand was, really work into that lower rib lift, and still do the same movement with the knees, lift and lower, and just try to keep that back ever so flat. Okay, really looking to move the whole body up and down from the knees without kind of tipping that pelvis around. Looks good. Okay, let's do 2 more, just 2 more, and then just sit yourself back either into the full child's pose, or, you know, just drop yourself down if that big bump's in the way, and then let yourself have a little rest there. Just basically make sure nothing's switched on, and you've got a nice little bit of a balance, yeah? Nothing's dizzy. Good. Let's go back up. We're going to attempt level 2, so we're kind of taking it a little bit away from beginner. We'll have a go. Tuck your toes under. When you've got yourself back into that lovely 4-point hill position with that beautiful tall chest. But what you can do with the hands is slightly different. Take your hands out, 1.5 hand positions in front of you. But the body stays the same. Really get those toes tucked under, guys. Good. Lift the ribs. So we have 2 movements here. We lift the knees as before, then separately push the weight forward to a full plank. Then we drop the weight back, knees stay hovered, and then the knees drop to the floor last. Okay, fantastic. Let's go again. Lift the knees, push forward, rock the weight back, lower the knees down. Fantastic. With a breath if we can. Breathing out to lift and push forward, breathing in to hold, and then breathing out to come back and lower. Breathing in to kind of set the center and prepare for the next one. Let's keep going. Breathing out to lift. Breathing in to hold. breathing out to drop back, breathing in, start again. Now, if you need to make it a bit quicker, you just breathe out on the lift and breathe in on the lower. And if you need to, guys, you just go back to level 1, where the hands are directly underneath the shoulder. Whichever level you're doing, please do 2 more. If the elbows or wrists are sore, again, please change that hand position. And when you've done your second one, just sit back to a little high kneel. If that's too uncomfortable, you can always come here, or even just go cross-legged for a minute. You do a quick stretch of your wrists now. Okay, I think we deserve it already. So tuck one elbow into your side, palm facing the floor, hold your hand, and then stretch the hand forward. Good. Okay, same arm, so come a little closer to see that nice extra. You're then just going to stretch that arm forward, keep the shoulder relaxed. Lovely, guys, fantastic. And then same other arm, tuck your elbow in, press forward. Nice. And then stretch it out. Okay, lastly, palm up, hold the fingertips, stretch backwards. Good, and then stretch forward. Nice. Beautiful. Last but not least, other side. Hold the fingers on this one and the palms facing up. And stretch. Okay, good. We're going to do one more thing here. Just a cat stretch, okay? So we're just thinking real mobilization of the spine, okay? Let's take those knees a little wider than hip distance apart, just a little bit wider, and the feet touch. Yes, a little different here, yeah. So knees slightly wider, feet touching, and then a normal cat stretch to behold. So backwards tilt, float the rib cage up to the ceiling, shrug the shoulders to your ears as you look in between and up to your belly button. You're going to hold that stretch, really focusing on the backwards tilt, and then gently just unfold to a nice straight line. Beautiful. So curling up, shrug the shoulders up to the ears, and then as you straighten, drop those shoulders, glide the shoulders down towards the hips. Breathe in, into that next stretch. Breathe out to hold, get all the air out, and then breathe in to flatten. Breathe out to get all the air out. Breathe in, one more. Breathe out, belly button to the ceiling. Breathe in, flatten. And then just again, last quick rest, whatever is the most comfortable position for you guys. Rest it out. Let the head just loll side to side. Getting a nice little stretch through there. Okay. Let's come up. We're going to go into a side position. We're going to go for a side bend, and we're going to go level 1. Okay, and we're going to kind of incorporate a few exercises before we go on to the other side. So, feet are stacked up, in line with your bottom, in line with your elbow, and have your hand and arm, forearm, pointing to that kind of front corner of your mat. If you need to move your hand a little bit in and out, that's fine, but that's normally the most neutral for a shoulder. Underneath the ribs, lift. So you're really taking that rib up away from that before you've even begun. Pull that bottom shoulder back and down and bring that top hand onto your top hip. Fantastic. Now just roll the top hip forward slightly to really have those knees stacked on top of one another. Engage that center, and to start off with, just lift the hips up, push them forward slightly, squeezing your bum cheeks, and then float the hand straight up to the ceiling if you want to do the extra hand bit. And then lower, drop the hips back and down. Okay, cool, good. So lift the hips up and forward as you float the hand, palm to the front if you can, and then gently lower all the way back, keeping that chest up. Let's go 3 more. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out, lower. 2 more. And as you lift on the next one, Lift up, push into that elbow, lift up out of that chest. Breathe in to hold, breathe out to lower. Last one, keep the chest up. Press the knees into the floor, squeeze those inner thighs together if you can. Lower. Now put the hands in front, sit up, and just slightly stagger your knees. So we're going to that mermaid stretch, cross leg if you need to, or even on a ball if you need to, it's not a problem. But what we're going to do is we're going to stretch to one side. You're going to float the hand up, the opposite side to where your feet are. If you're seated, just pick whichever side you like. And then stretch across. Breathe in, reach the hand directly, almost up, 45 degrees. Breathe out, come up again. Get tall, really, really tall at that chin. 3 more. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, get taller. 2 more. Breath in. Last one, breathing out. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, down. And rest. Same side, all the way to the floor. Take a block, ball, cushion, whatever it is, lay yourself down, pop that block, ball, cushion underneath your ear and on top of your arm. Let that arm underneath completely rest off. Bend the knees up, stack the feet, lengthen through that top hip. So you're pushing that top hip down and away. Lift the belly button up away from the floor and tuck the ribs back towards the back of you. Fantastic. Clam level 1. Keep your heels touching and float one knee up and then gently float that knee down. Nothing smooth. Okay, let's keep going. Set that sentinel. So hip bone to hip bone. Draw that hip bone to hip bone together. Good. Top shoulder away from here. You still want to have quite a snobby chest, so you're still quite wide through the collarbones. Lovely. Keep those stacked up. 3 more. Easy breathing. Let's lift the pelvic floor. Knees down. Both feet float up, a few inches off the floor. Clam level 2. Keep the heels together. Lift the knee, lower the knee. Fantastic, good. So again, we're just keeping the center engaged. We're only moving the knee. This is where it's quite difficult because you want to kind of roll backwards, you know. I think, oh, how high can I get my knee? But that sometimes makes your back move. We don't want that. We want to really isolate this work right in your bum, in those side pocket bum muscles. Really help stabilize your pelvis, these little tiny muscles. So it's really good to be able to isolate them in a workout. So keep that torso really still. No rolling forward, no rolling backwards. 3 more, heels together. Just slow up and slow down. Nothing jerky. 2, 1, and then rest those feet down. Perfect. Use the hands to help you sit up. Have that same block, ball, cushion, whatever around. Take your time and then roll yourself across to the other side. So however you need to safely and comfortably do that, get yourself across the other side. Good. Okay. Same on the other side. Let's link them all together. So side bend level 1. Hands to the corner, elbow, bum cheek, feet in line. Just check. Just take your time checking. Lifting that underneath rib cage up. Engage the center, hand on hip. We lift the hip, push it forward, and then take that hand up to the ceiling. Holding it for that breath in, gently lowering it back down again. We're going to try to do a breath in to hold, a breath out to lift, a breath in to hold, and a breath out to lower. 4 more. Keep going. So why do we move on the breath out? Because on that breath out, you can tuck the rib cage down better. You can lift that pelvic floor more efficiently, And it should be easier to engage your center with that breath out to lift. And you can just check it on the breath in to hold. Last one. Good. Use the hand. Sit up. Just unstagger those feet, but keep the knees there. Again, just whatever you did on one side, do on the other side. Even if you feel like I probably could do it on the other side, keep things even, okay? Hands out, chest up, shoulders relaxed, breath in. Hand that's not where your feet are, lift across, breathe in, reach up. So for me, it's where the ceiling meets the wall, and then gently come back in the center. Fantastic, guys. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Good, 3 more. So again, the feet are stacked like this because it means you can't move your pelvis so easily. So if you are seated on a ball or seated cross-legged, it's absolutely fine. But you guys have to work a little bit harder to not lift your bottom off the floor as well. Whereas when you're seated like this, you can't lift the bottom off the floor. Last one, I think. Extra breath in and then reach out. Fantastic. Now we're back down to the floor. All right, guys, we're evening ourselves out with those clams. So grab the ball, straighten out, lock ourselves in. Okay, feet stacked, knees stacked, hand on top hip, push that top hip down and away, shoulder away from our ear, tuck the ribs back, engage the center, engage, lift that pelvic floor, really think those back passage muscles, give them a squeeze as you lift the top knee and lower. Great, guys, keep going. So this is a really small movement, but it can be really effective. Even if you're like an advanced Pilates goer, just a clam level 1 should be quite difficult because it's a small movement. It requires loads of concentration. And actually, guys, if you can get that weight down the knee a little slower, it's much harder to make it go smooth, isn't it? Because it wants to kind of jerk around. So work a little bit on smoothing out that movement with that hip, with that knee, on the way down. 2 more. We should start to feel some tiredness just in that isolated side pocket. Keep that hip pushed down, the waistline long as you float both feet up, ready for level 2. And the same applies. Yeah, it's a level 2, but it's still pretty beginner in terms of an exercise. But if you can do it smooth, slow, with a big knee lift without moving the rest of your body, it can be super difficult, yeah? It's really isolated, a really condensed little movement, gently down. Fantastic, that's really good, really nice. Okay, let's go for a few more of those. Yeah, relax that top shoulder, relax the neck, hip bones, draw that center in. 3, let's get a little butt burn on. 2, slow on the way down. 1, and rest those feet. Fantastic, and keep that butt going. Roll onto your front. If you are antenatal, got a little bump in the way, go back to 4-point kneel, please. We're going to take the ball away. We're going to go resting our head onto our hands for swimming level 1. If you are obviously 4-point kneel, it'll be swimming level 4. I'll demonstrate in a second. Everybody else, rest your head. Pull those shoulders down and away from your ears. Lengthen your tailbone, so you've got a bit of a backwards tilt going on, and squeeze those bum cheeks together. Movement-wise, you're going to tense your knee, tense the thigh. Your knee should come off the floor already, just by tensing one thigh, and then float that leg off the floor. Stop when you feel like you've lost that tilt, that backwards pelvic tilt, and then lower it down. Tense the other thigh. Float the whole leg. Gently lower. And let's keep on alternating sides. But guys, really think backwards tilt of your pelvis. If you are on 4-point kneel, the same movement applies. We're going to stretch the leg behind us. Reach out into that lovely straight line. tap the toe down, and gently bring it in. So guys, it's exactly the same movement that you're doing, the same muscles that you're working, it's just through a different range, okay? So don't worry, if you think you're missing out either way, you're not. It's the same exercise. Breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. So if you are on the floor, really try to do that thigh tense. So if you can see, it's maybe small on the screen, but when I tense my thigh, my knee's already coming up off the floor. And then all I got to do that secondary little glute squeeze to float that leg. Let's go 4 more, whatever level it is you're doing. Breathe out to stretch the leg away and breathing in to lower. 3, 2, and 1. Now get a block. Sorry, I should have brought mine with me. Block cushion underneath your forehead. Arms out straight in front of you, both arms. Shoulders down and away from the ears. Lift one arm up without turning the torso. Gently lower it down. Lift the other arm up. If you're on 4-point kneel, engage that center. Drop the shoulders away. Everybody pull those shoulders away from the ears and then float one arm up and gently come down. So guys, keep on going. Again, whatever level you're doing, just alternate that arm lift. Try breath out to lift, breath in to lower. So really try to get that breath because again, it will help you. As you breathe out, you should find it easier to set the center, draw that belly button and baby, if there's one there, in towards the spine. Then try to keep it there, obviously, when you breathe in. Don't let it go each time. Keep on going. Now, guys, if you're laying on your front, lift that arm as high as you can, but don't twist your torso. So feel your chest pressing into the floor and the rib, the bony bit of your ribs pressing into the floor. So as you do the arm lifts, there shouldn't be any change in pressure through that kind of area. So really try to focus on stabilizing that torso. Let's go for 1 more on each side. And then when you finish, just sit yourself up and again, grab yourself a quick drink. Very good, guys, fantastic. Just take your time there, guys. We're going to go on to our backs now. Okay, so antenatal, I'm going to get you guys to go seated, Swiss ball, or a chair, whatever one is fine with you. And I will demonstrate in a second. We're going to go for a shoulder bridge to begin with. So we're going to get that ball in between your knees. So again, if you're seated, let's get that ball in between your knees as well. Heels close to the bottom, arms long by our sides. Okay, those laying on your back are a little movement based. Pull the shoulders back, soften the rib cage down in towards your mat. Roll your spine into a backwards tilt, pressing your lower back into the floor. Squeeze those sit bones together, check the centers engaged, and then just gently peel the vertebrae off the floor one at a time. You're going to stop when the ribs start to kind of lift by themselves. Hold for a breath in, keeping the ball nice and tight. You're going to roll down through one vertebrae at a time. Release the bum cheek squeeze and just roll that pelvis back to neutral at the bottom. So 1 more here, rolling it backwards, squeeze the sit bones, peel up, hold for a breath in at the top before you roll yourself down. Nice and easy curl. Keep on going. So level 1. Again, even if you're an advanced Pilateser, level 1's really, really effective if you need to. Now, with regards to the seated version, we're still going to mobilize through that spine. So we're going to work on something similar to the beginning of the class. So you're going to reach the hands forward. You're going to roll the upper body, bringing the chin to the chest. The bump won't let you go too far, don't worry. You're then going to sit yourself up, really stretch those arms above your head, and then circle before you go again. So rolling forward, chin to chest. Breathe in to hold. Lift on the breath in. And then just circle yourself down. Now the ball between the knees will make that much more difficult in terms of balance. So take the ball away if you need to. Everybody, let's do 2 more. Again, we're just working the spinal mobility bit first. Nothing underneath the head, guys. No block, no cushion. Now, to make it a little bit more tricky, you're going to get to the top of your shoulder bridge or reach if you're seated. You're then going to lift one heel off the floor, then put it down. Then lift the other heel off the floor and put it down. And then roll yourself back to the floor or sit yourself back up again. If that's easy, go for 2 heels at the same time. So roll up. Guys, focus on that peeling of the vertebrae. Float both heels off the floor. Lower both heels. Do 2 or 3 if you want to before you roll yourself back down again or sit yourself up. So let's do a couple of those, guys. So we're just challenging the stability at the top whilst you're in a really nice mobilized position. So you're rolling forward if you're seated, you're lifting 1 heel or 2 heels off the floor. Again, just really challenging that balance, that wobble through there. Lift and lower before we lift up on that breath in. Circle to begin again. Again, whatever level you're doing, let's go for 1 more. 1 more of those, please, guys. And then when you've finished, lay yourself down in that nice Pilates rest position. And everybody bring your hands behind your head. So even if you're seated, lift the elbows or bring the elbows just into your side vision. Double check your lower back is in neutral, so that neutral position. Draw the center in. Now 2 movements for ab prep. Chin to chest. And then peel the ribs up towards the knees. So you're lifting in this movement, ribs up, chest up towards the top of those knees. And then gently come down and out of it again. You breathe out to lift, gliding those ribs towards your pubic bone. Breathe in to hold is harder, or breathe in to lower is slightly easier. So you can go for the hold, or you can go straight up, straight down, that's fine. If you are seated, keep the ball there if you want to. Your hands are still there. You're rolling forward and lifting up. Again, we're just mobilizing through that chest position, but really working those abdominals as well. And honestly, I've had 2 children naturally. The ab prep is basically what a push is, right? Ladies in the room who've had a baby, it's basically a really hard ab prep with a lot of kind of screaming and swearing in between. All right, let's go for 2 more. Get the ab prep, get that labour going. But guys, you lot, lift the pelvic floor. Do not push down. Okay, keep going. If you want to make it harder, take 1 leg into tabletop. Do a nice ab prep. Switch the legs over without moving the spine. Do the next ab prep. So we're breathing in, breathing out, moving through the nice gentle movements, 1 at a time. If you're seated, I'm going to bring an extra bit there to the spine. You're going to curl forward. You're going to curl up. You're going to breathe out, twist. You're going to breathe in, come back. Good, keep on going. So it's forward, up, side, side. Just lots of mobility. Come on, guys, let's do a couple more. Really work the endurance factor, whichever level it is that you're doing. Don't have to put the legs if you don't want to. Guys, if you're really advanced already, just put both legs in the air. Double leg tabletop if you're feeling a bit strong, which is fine. Breathing out, breathing in. Now everybody rest. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in both of those exercises you've just done together. So shoulder bridge and the ab prep. So here's what it's going to look like. Hands behind the head. They stay there. You are going to lift into the ab prep, roll the head back down to the floor, and then backwards tilt, peel up into the shoulder bridge, peel down. Roll up into the ab prep, roll down, lift into the shoulder bridge. Keep on going. Now, regards to your breath pattern, honestly, guys, just do what's the most comfortable. I love for you to, breathe out on the lift, breathe in on the lower, breathe out in the shoulder bridge, but it's quite a lot to remember. Just ab prep, shoulder bridge, ab prep, shoulder bridge. If you're seated, you're doing our extra spinal mobility, it's our rotation. If you want to lift both your heels up off the floor, it's just challenging that balance just a little bit. Everybody do 4 more. Really, really, we're doing lower levels, but we are doing endurance. So we should still get that nice little burn under the abdominals, no pain in the neck because you've got full support with your hands, and no pain in the lower back because it's not moving unless it's the shoulder bridge. Maybe you're on your last one or the last 2. If you are standing, get up and do a big stretch. If you're laying on your back, let's go into that pencil stretch. Whatever level you're doing, wherever you are, just stretch out like a huge pencil. A couple of breaths in and breath out when you're there. And then just gently rest yourself down. Okay. Everybody's going to come to a seated position. Again, it can be on a ball, it can be on a chair, it can be wherever it wants to be. We're going to do a modified saw. All about spinal mobility, but again, if we do it properly, it's a real ab workout as well. Hands out wide. If that's too sore on the shoulders, you can go Cossack, but try to go wide. 2 movements. It's the twist. We know this one. The difference is you're going to reach one hand in front of you, hand on the knee, look to the hands behind you and lift that hand up. Breathing in to be there and then breathing out to start again. Nice. Okay, so it's a breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Keep going. So that turn is nice and easy, but that hand down, reach up, should just really twist and just do a lovely movement for your spine. But if you get that breath out, what do we do on a breath out? We engage the center. So that breath out and movement, you're using your abs. We want to force those oblique muscles to work. Keep going. 2 more, pelvic floor. Lift the pelvic floor away from whatever it is you're sitting on. So back passage muscles. Lift. Imagine you're literally lifting your intestines up away from your mat or away from your ball. Last one. And just rest there for a minute. Enough talk on intestines. Fantastic. Okay, good. Right, we're going to go to a kneeling position now. So spin yourself round and get yourself comfortable. Okay, so again, you can be seated for this one, but let's all try to be kneeling if we can. Okay, knees hip distance apart. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little lean back. So we're going to keep everything as flat as we can. We're going to fold the hands across our chest. I'll give you the seated version in a second. You're going to engage the center. I'm just going to do a little lean back, stretching through those quads, and then just bringing ourselves forward, again, trying to use the quads. So you're trying to be straight, really straight, shoulder to knee. Don't lean. You lean, we lengthen the abs, and we squash the lower back. So let's get as tall as we can. Breathe out to lean back. Breathe in to come forwards. Now, if you have got that bump in the way, you can do that. Just check with that line, make sure there's no doming. So if you see a little kind of sausage through the middle, just don't go back as far. If you're seated, we're working on the same premise. But you're going to roll the hips forward and then drop those hips back. So you see my head's not moving very far, but I'm still getting that nice kind of movement through the hips, stretching out through those quads. It can be small, guys. Let's do 3 more. If it's sore on your knees, you know, you can double fold your mats and then just pop your knees onto that. You can use a cushion, pillow. It should be all in the stretch of your thighs, and it shouldn't really be too sore on your kneecaps. Last one. I'm going to go into a standing cool down. So hands in front, tuck your toes under, lift the knees, walk your hands back. If you're not already standing, let's get there safe and sound. Fantastic, okay. Quad stretch to begin with, you've just used them there. We stretch the knees and the shoulder bridge. You can use a wall or a chair if you need to. It's not a balance exercise. Just lift one foot behind you. You can bend down if you need to kind of do that. Grab onto your foot. And when you've got that grab, be as tall as you can be. Bringing that heel as close to your bottom as you can. Then drive the knee back slightly. And squeeze your bum and push your hips forward. So it's not a balance exercise here. I really want to get the best stretch through the quad that you can. If you cannot be standing up, you're knackered, antenatal, you don't want to be here, lay on your side and do it. Just lay on your side and stretch out, it's no problem. And then gently ease off. Good, okay, with your self down, get comfortable. Bend if you need to, grab the foot and the ankle, and then straighten. So 3 things, right? Heel to bum, knee back, squeeze the bum, push the hips forward. Fantastic. And just a couple of breaths here. Yeah, nice. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice stretch there. Gently come down. Now we're going to pigeon step. So you've just got a little stride in front of you. Bend the back knee. Let that tailbone go directly behind you. So reach your tailbone directly back. Your head will lower like automatically. Don't force it then. So bum goes back. Now reach the crown of your head forward. Extra. Take your hands up. Reach your hands forward. Drive your bum back. You should get the best hamstring stretch right now. Lift the belly button if you can. Breathe in, breathe out, holding. Reach forward. Come on. And then stand up. Take your time, balance, switch the feet over, bend the back knee, let the hips drive backwards. So again, you're just getting the bum, scoop, directly behind you, horizontal, hands come up. Reach forward, because as you reach forward, your bum probably goes back automatically. Good, that's what I want. Extra stretch. Let's go. Breathe in, breathe out 2 times. Reach, 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 guys. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Reach, reach. And then gently up. Fantastic. Okay, come back into the center. Feet all the way together. Hands on hips. Relax the shoulders down. Turn and just look over one shoulder. Pull that opposite shoulder back. Extra stretch. And then turn the head back to the front. And then look over the other side. Same job. Opposite shoulder. Pull it back. Look back to the front. Now put your hands down. Same exercise. Turn the head. Whole arm goes behind you. Breathe in to hold it this time if you can. Breathe out to turn. Back to the middle. Fantastic. Head turns. Relax the shoulders. Pull the other arm back. The whole arm. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out to rest. Goodness sake. Breathe in, shrug the shoulders up to your ears, floppy hands. Breathe out. Yeah, nice. Slow. Breath in. Yeah, like really open up. We're going to almost fatigue that neck and let it relax. Okay, big mouth this one. Yeah, one more. Nice, okay. Take your hands up to the ceiling. Reach those fingers, those heels up, fingers up, stretch, circle and lower. Amazing. Hands at feet hip distance apart. Oh, the heat's getting to me. 2 shoulder rolls. 1, breathe in, breathe out. 2, breathe in, breathe out. 2 full arm circles. Breathe in, breathe out. Set the center. Breathe in, breathe out. Bend both the knees a little bit. Side stretch. Reach up and look at the ceiling. Mermaid. Breath in. Breathe out, stand up. Hold. Bend the knees. Side stretch. Reach up, look up, breathe in, reach to the ceiling. Breathe out, stand up. A little quicker. Breath in, breath out. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Look at the hand. Circle the hand in front of you. Lift up, breathe in. Circle the hand, breathe out. Reach up, breathe in. Don't move the knees, don't move the hips. 2, 1. Squeeze the bum, stand up. Get your balance, get your dizziness back. Or get your dizziness off. Other side, bend the knees. Now really lock those knees in. Circle, lift. Fantastic. Circle, lift. Now if you follow your thumb with your gaze, your chest will follow slightly as well. That's what we want. Last 1. Breath in. Look forward. Get your balance. Breath out. Good, fantastic. Okay, bring your hands onto your hips. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Bring the chin in slightly. Relax those shoulders. Glide those shoulder blades down. Engage that center. Soften the ribs. Now just tilt forward with that pelvis and tilt backwards with that pelvis. 4 and back. 3 and back. 2, 1. Find the halfway point. Engage the center. Lift the pelvic floor. 2 breaths. So you're keeping that pelvic floor in. Now let's work the pelvic floor. Breathe in, relax the pelvic floor. So you're breathing in, almost bearing down. Breathe out, lift the pelvic floor. Breathe in, release the pelvic floor. Piston action. Breathe out, lift. 2 more. Breathe in, relax the pelvic floor. Breathe in, lift it. Breathe out, push it down. So breathe in, push it down. Breathe out, lift, hold. Hold that pelvic floor. Squeeze the bum cheeks. Lift the heels up. Keep that pelvic floor. Drop one heel. Bend the opposite knee. Lift all the way up. Hold. Drop the other knee. Lift, hold. Bend. Check the pelvic floor. Lift. Relax the shoulders. Drop one, the other heel. Check the pelvic floor. Lift. And then quickly. 6, 5, 4. Check the pelvic floor. 3, 2, 1. Lift them both up. Stop. Hold it. Nice strength. Tuck the ribs down. Now slow. How slow can you put your heels back down to the floor? Normal breath. You're taking it easy. Beginner's level. Slow it down. Rock the weight back. Lift your toes up. Spread your toes if you can. If you can. And then if you can, press the little toes in first. Then the 4th toe. Then the 3rd and 2nd, because they will come together. The big toes off the floor. Yeah? Press the big toe down. Lift the inner arches up. Tense the thighs. Relax the thighs. Rest the arms. Take a big breath in. Slow breath out. And give yourselves a massive clap. Well done, guys. Fantastic.